Alright folks, thanks for checking in Stormtopia.com and the Stormtopia.com Facebook page. We're in a daily weather update right now. Taking a look at current national radar imagery, you can see for the third time in a week, a major storm is moving across the nation's heartland with heavy rain, severe thunderstorms, and also some very heavy snow. Now that heavy rain, wind-driven at times, is already spreading back through the southern mid-Atlantic, and all these heavy impacts are shifting eastward and will be a nuisance for the East Coast tomorrow. A nuisance for some and damaging for others. Speaking of damaging weather, with this storm we already have severe thunderstorms showing up on the radar imagery as we've had all day now across the lower portions of the heartland. Large hail, straight line damaging winds, and tornadoes are associated with it. The chasers have been out there, and I'm sure they'll be bringing back great footage for us tomorrow of these storms. Into the upper heartland we go, and you see the radar imagery depicting snow. Those dark blues are where the heavy snow is. North of the St. Louis metro area is where some of the heaviest is. We're talking about even thunder snow in some areas, which again, folks, just a testament to the strength of the storm. So a very strong storm pushing east. Different impacts across the East Coast tomorrow, influence from the ocean primarily. We're talking about rain, 1 to 2 inches from the upper mid-Atlantic into southern New England. Winds are going to reach hurricane force for some and gusts, along with coastal surf up to 18 feet, okay, at least in swells, but maybe even breaking along the beach. Across the north country of New England, there's going to be about 10 to even as much as 15 inches of snowfall accumulation. And again, folks, we're already seeing that severe weather, most severe today across the southern United States, but still somewhat severe tomorrow across the southeastern United States. Today it's in the mid-south, tomorrow it's in the eastern portions of the south. Now, if we basically just sum things up here for the Northeast before we get into detail on each threat, you're talking about a wind-driven downpours for the upper mid-Atlantic into southern New England, damaging and heavy flooding for others, breezy showers otherwise. Now, in terms of how much rainfall we're actually going to see, it does look to be significant for some, 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch, not significant for the lower mid-Atlantic back in through Virginia, but significant from central and southern New Jersey northward into New England. 3/4 of an inch to 2 inches of rain is expected. Now, okay, this is going to be coming during the essentially I would just say all day tomorrow. Alright, all day Friday, for those of you watching this Friday morning. Now, what can you expect with 3/4 of an inch to 2 inches of rain? We're talking about urban flooding. We're talking about poor drainage flooding, creek and stream flooding as well. But here's what you're not going to see. Damaging flash floods that rage and ramp and rant and cause significant damage. And you're not going to see that river flooding either. So this would not be a significant, severe rain event as we saw earlier this year. Now, usually insignificant factor, but not this time around, is going to be the track of the low pressure center. I expect it to go from the upper to middle Appalachians straight across interior southern New England and central New England. Now, to the north of it, the winds are going to be out of the west and out of the north. To the south of it, the winds are going to be out of the south and out of the east. What does this mean? This means multiple things. Number one, the south side will be stronger and will contain the damage. Number two, on the south, the primary precipitation will be rain, not snow. On the north, they'll be mixing and snow in the far north country of New England. As for the winds, south of the low pressure center and close to the proximity of the low pressure center will be the combined area of the strongest winds and heavy rain. 55 to 85 mile-per-hour wind gusts are expected from Montauk east. Then, in the orange shaded locations for most of Long Island back through the Jersey Shore all the way to Wildwood, it's 30 to 55 mile-per-hour wind gusts. And then an insignificant event for Wildwood, Delmarva, and North Carolina. But here's the thing. Essentially, I'd say anywhere from New York City east, so for some of the orange and some of the red, in fact all of the red and some of the eastern portions of the orange, east of New York City, that's where you're talking about the damaging winds. 40 to 50, not a big deal. 50 to 60 is when you're talking about trees down. 60 to 70 and up to 80 miles an hour is when you can talk about damage, widespread area, multiple trees down, and even the occasional power outage. Definitely not out of the question for a power outage on the south coast of New England, where you're combined straight southerly facing beaches and close proximity to the low pressure center will give you the strongest winds and the highest waves as well. Up to 18 feet, I said in the beginning of the video. Yep, 12 to 18 feet from Montauk east. This is the highest expected wave heights. And then for Long Island, all the way down for most of the eastern and northeastern corridor, 6 to 12 foot waves. And then for the eastern facing beaches of the northerly facing beaches, or I guess suppose northeasterly facing beaches of North Carolina, Virginia Beach, 2 to 6 feet, dead area of the East Coast. For the southerly facing beaches, the waves will be bigger, and the reason for that is that you're going to get a strong southerly wind. Admittedly, you're removed from the low pressure center, but you will still be talking about a strong southerly wind. So that's it for this video. I hope this was informative to you. Stay tuned for more updates on Stormtopia.com, and have a great day.